this is going to be a bit of a rant, I'm afraid. So, deep breaths, exhale. I'm annoyed. I'm really, really annoyed. Yes, hello. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. I'm Sam. This is By Hook or By Needles. That's how annoyed I am. I'm annoyed not for myself, because whether you do this or don't do this doesn't affect me directly. So I'm not even frustrated that you're stealing from me. I'm frustrated for other designers, for designers out there who you are stealing from. And that's what this is all about. This is a hot take, so I might get a bit hot. Now, what sparked all this? Well, I was on Facebook, and you got your feed, and something popped up that grabbed my attention. It was a photograph of a pattern that someone had created, posted in a Facebook group. And I thought, no, Sam, it might be theirs. Went to the group to have a look. No, it's not theirs. It was somebody else's pattern. People. Now, okay, before I say anything more, I am not a lawyer. I have never had any legal training. I'm not a legal secretary or anything like that. What I'm relaying to you is what I have been told by lawyers and by legal people, and from what I have seen and researched for myself. Okay? So, keep that in mind. I might say something incorrect or not 100% spot on. And that is why you probably need to go and do your own research. But I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is spot on about the specifics that I'm talking about. Okay. So I went to the page, and it wasn't this person's pattern. She was sharing somebody else's design on this page. You can't do that. That is copyright law. You are breaching copyright law. You are liable now for loss of earnings for the designer. You are liable for stealing, and they do class it as stealing, intellectual property, IP. And if the designer was so inspired or whatever, they could sue you. Now, all they'd probably get for that, the headache, is a few dollars, or however much the pattern was worth, depending on how many people it looked like thanked you in the comments to say, thank you for this pattern, thank you, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use it. If there were 10 people who all said, yeah, great free pattern, I thank you for giving me this, then she could claim that she's lost 10 times whatever her pattern costs. And now you're going to pay for it. Not the people who have taken the free copy. You, because you shared it. So what I'm trying to do is get you to protect yourself by not sharing, because it's stealing. Now, when I say not sharing, you can share the link. I can share a link to a pattern. Like a link to Ravelry or whatever. And if the pattern that I want to share isn't a pattern on Ravelry or something like that, or on a website, and it's not free, I can still share the link to that pattern for you to go and pay for it. I can, if it's in a book, I can tell you the name of the book, the name of the pattern, the name of the author. I can give you a link to Amazon and all of that. All totally legal. So when I say stop sharing, I'm not saying stop sharing information. I'm saying stop sharing patterns. And there's a big difference there. You can share all the information you like to others to find the pattern. Just do not share the actual pattern itself. Because ultimately it's you that's going to come undone. It's you that is going to suffer if the person at the other side decides they've had enough of people stealing their work and selling it for nothing, or giving it away for free when they don't even get any revenue from the ads on their page. It sucks. And that's where I think a lot of people come unstuck. And I'm probably jumping all over here, and I apologize. I am a little bit frustrated by this whole thing, because it does annoy me. And it frightens me that the people are doing this are not even aware. So this is what I'm doing. One, I'm making you aware of what you're doing is illegal, because some people aren't aware. Two, I'm trying to stop you from doing it. I don't think I'll stop many people. A lot of people just don't care. But three, I'm trying to get the designers some money that they deserve for their product, even if the product is free. Let me explain. I'll explain it to you the way it was explained to me. If you see a free pattern and someone just shares the link, they say, here's a free pattern for some socks, and you click on the link and you go to a person's web page, for example, say. Now on that web page there's going to be possibly affiliated links, ads, possibly promotions to their other patterns, which are paid patterns, etc., etc. This is how the designers get paid. They get paid because the ads pay them to put the ad on the page, and they pay them per how many views that page gets. They get paid because someone might go onto the page to look at these free socks, and the person's promoting the other paid patterns on the same page, and someone might go, oh, I like that pair of socks better, and it's worth me paying the money to buy that pattern, to get that pair of socks. And this is what a lot of people who see free pattern and think, well, what does it matter? I hear that every single time I tell people, stop giving the actual pattern out just because it's free. It's not for you to do. If I wrote a pattern and I wanted to give it out for free, I'm perfectly within my rights to do that. And if I post it on a Facebook group, this is my pattern, this is for free, perfectly within my rights to do that. Obviously, it's my pattern. I can do with it as I wish. Now, even though posting it on that Facebook group will not give me any revenue, you still cannot take that pattern of mine and put it onto another Facebook page and claim, well, I'm not stealing from you because you weren't getting any revenue from it on the other Facebook group. And that's true. 100% true. That person is 100% true, what they're saying. I'm not losing any money because I didn't share that free pattern on my own website where I might get some revenue from it. But what that person who's shared it has neglected to realize, and maybe because they don't, is you're stealing my intellectual property. Now I get a lot of people laugh at me when I say that. Well, laugh in the face of Disney. Disney is one of the most prolific, and I've watched a lot of videos on this. Disney is one of the most prolific pursuers of people using that intellectual property. And let me explain what I mean by intellectual property. Let's say, I haven't got anything here really. Let's say I created, let's take it back a bit. What's his name? Who wrote Winnie the Pooh? I can't remember. Anyway, whoever wrote Winnie the Pooh and created Winnie the Pooh, he eventually sold his rights to Disney and said, okay, Disney, here you go. You can recreate my creation. I'm giving you permission to, because you're giving me money, and that's allowing you to do it. Great. Now, if I then go, oh, I can make some money here, I'm going to make Winnie the Pooh, and I'm going to sell him on my stall. And if I get knitting and crocheting and create a Winnie the Pooh doll, I'm breaking the law, because I've stolen the intellectual property of Disney. Now, a lot of people try and get out of this by saying, oh, it's not Winnie the Pooh, they call it Orange Bear in a red t-shirt. Sorry. It's not protecting you. I know people do think it's protecting them. I used to think it was protecting them until I was watching this one lawyer who said, no, you're not protecting yourself. You can't take Winnie the Pooh, an orange bear in a red t-shirt, and sell it as Orange Bear in a red t-shirt and still not get sued by Disney. You can't take, is it purple? This sort of colour, isn't he? Eeyore, and say, purple, sad donkey, and think you're not going to get sued. Because you will. Now, if I took Winnie the Pooh and possibly changed him to being a green bear with a blue t-shirt, it's a little less, it's a little shakier ground for being sued, because I'm changing every aspect of him. I'm changing his colour and the colour of his clothing. But even if he looked exactly like Winnie the Pooh, I could possibly still get into trouble. And this happens all the time. People are constantly creating designs for, I see a lot of it, bluey, Disney stuff. Case in point, most recently, big ears, the green guy who floats, I think he floats. He was in The Mandalorian, the old guy who was a baby in Mandalorian. I know all you people out there, Star Wars fans, are screaming at me. He was a wise old Yoda. Ah, I knew I'd remember. Yoda. Baby Yoda. When Baby Yoda first was released to the public, crafters went crazy for it. Crafters were creating patterns for Yoda. They were making Yodas and selling them at markets. Now, even though Disney were not making plushy Yodas at that time, they went after every single person they could for selling a pattern. Now, the first thing you'll get from them would be a cease and desist letter warning you, stop selling your pattern, stop selling the product, you have no rights to it, and you do not. But people do it, and this is what the problem is. Everyone looks around and says, but they're doing it, and they're doing it, and they're doing it, why can't I? Well, if you've got my sort of luck, you're the one who's going to get done. And in Australia, copyright infringement law minimum fine is about 110,000 Australian dollars, and I think it was up to 10 years in prison, 5 years in prison. It's people think it's a laughing matter. Oh, copyright, what's the big deal? It's not. I'm trying to help you here, people. Stop sharing things that do not belong to you. Now, if you're at all unsure of whether or not you can share something or not, you're better off not doing it. Just don't do it. I think because you can legally, I think, sell, if you've got a magazine with a knitting pattern in it, you can take the knitting pattern out, and you can actually, I think, sell the knitting pattern as is. You can't sell photocopies of it, which is a lot of people on Etsy will do and eBay will do. They photocopy the pattern that they ripped out of a magazine and they try and sell that. Selling the original, not a problem. Selling photocopies, problem. books. If you've got a craft book, you can sell a craft book. I've got loads of knitted amigurumis from Jean Greenhow. She's got huge numbers of books. Now, I can sell all the books I've got of hers. Not a problem. But if I photocopied pictures of photocopied the patterns and try to sell them, problem. Because I'm not just selling one, I could be selling multiple, and that's not allowed. I don't believe you can, if you've got a book, you cannot photocopy just one pattern from a book. You can't even, you have to sell the whole book or not sell the book. You can't photocopy even one pattern. Another thing people have been saying, or I hear a lot of, is, yeah, but I only used the pattern as a guide. I took this person's pattern and I changed it up a little bit. Doesn't matter. Unless you changed it more than 90%, so unless you changed it 90.1% and can prove that in a court of law, you've stolen the pattern. I know. Look, I know what you're saying to me. You're saying, Sam, this is just ridiculous. You're talking rubbish. We should be able to do what we want to do. And yeah, you can do what you want to do. Most of you are adults who are watching this. Certainly you can do what you want to do. I'm just trying to make people who don't understand the law, I'm hoping that they can understand it and be more wary of what they are doing, and maybe stop and think the next time they share someone's pattern that they have no right to share. Of course you can do whatever you want to do. It's just my request that you stop stealing, or stop sharing and stop stealing, because that's what you're ultimately doing. And I'll tell you, I've got a lot of designs up here, and I don't want to put a lot of them out there, because they'll just be stolen by somebody who's got more manpower behind them to replicate my pattern and sell it, and it's just really frustrating to see that there's designers out there who are losing money because of people who are possibly ignorant through no fault of their own. They've just never been made aware of these laws. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making you aware of these laws. So you can share links. Nothing wrong with that. Here's the link. Go to their website and give them the hit on their website and give them the revenue from those ads. And you never know, while you're there you might see another pattern. Another woman I know, Helen Shrimpton. Every year she brings out a free pattern for, hang on, let me show you. This is one of Helen Shrimpton's free patterns. Now, hang on, I'm just going to pause. Now, Helen Shrimpton, every September, she releases a new free design. Come on then, pussycat, off you go. Go on. No, I know. Yes, it's a camera. You're not chewing it. You are not chewing my phone. Come on. Beep, beep. Off you go. Move across. Thank you. Every year, she brings out a free pattern. Now, why does she do this? She does it on Facebook, but she's also got her own webpage. Now, she does it, obviously, to draw people in and say, here's a beautiful free pattern. But hey, look over here. I've got all these other patterns. Some are free, some you have to pay for. At the end of her free cowl every year, she will immediately, I think it's about the last day or the day after the last day of the free cowl, she puts out a brand new pattern that's a paid pattern, and she gets lots of sales, and that's how she makes money from her free patterns. And this is why you cannot take a free pattern and post it. It's not yours to post. And like I say, if you are in any way, shape or form unsure of what is allowed and isn't allowed, and you can't find information on the website which is reliable, from a lawyer or a government facility. A lot of the governments of your own country will let you know what is legal and illegal when it comes to copyright laws in your own country. So go there and have a look at those as well. You don't have to go to a lawyer. You don't have to pay out of your own pocket. There's plenty of lawyers on the YouTube that have said, this is the way it is. And so if you don't want to believe me, fine. Go Google them. Go search them on YouTube and hear it from them. And if I have got anything wrong, let me know, please. I'm not adverse to being told I'm wrong. I'm not going to lose my mind if you tell me I'm wrong. Any criticism that is constructive, I'm fine with. We all make mistakes and we all misspeak at times, and I'm quite happy to be told if I've done that at all. So, and I'll keep looking at the time because I'm really trying to keep this as short as possible. So, really what I'm trying to say is, please, protect yourselves. Give designers give them what they deserve. Now, you've got people like Bag O' Day and Olga Poltava. Now, there's two people that I can think of off the top of my head. They both post free tutorials weekly, daily, every couple of days, and their designs that they create are beautiful, and they're theirs. Now, and in both cases, Olga will almost always put a pattern on her Etsy for a PDF for the pattern, which you can buy and then print up, so you've got a printed copy of it, so you don't have to watch the YouTube channel video every time you want to make this thing. Crystal from Bag O' Day, she does the same. I don't think she puts every design up. She puts up, I think most, she says. She puts up a lot, but not every design. So some of them you still have to go back and have to look at the videos, and that's fine, because she's probably getting ad revenue from the videos, and that's the way she's getting paid. So, that's a great way of supporting people like Olga and Crystal. Watch their videos. Don't skip the ads. They deserve it. Unless it's a 30-minute ad. If it's a 30-minute ad, skip it after a few minutes, yeah? But if it's one of those really short ads that only goes for about 90 seconds or something, hey, watch the whole thing. Give them a bit of revenue. They both deserve it. They've both worked hard. They've both got brilliant creative minds. And it's not just them I'm talking about. It's anybody and everybody who puts something out on YouTube and they're monetized. If you appreciate the YouTube videos of the tutorial that they're showing you, then watch the ads. Give them a bit of revenue. You're not paying for the pattern unless you go to their websites and buy the pattern. So there's lots of people out there who do this thing where they give you the free pattern, but then also say, hey, if you want to buy it, you can. And so that's another reason why you shouldn't be sharing free patterns, because they may also be paid and you don't know it. If I went to Olga's YouTube channel and wrote down all the instructions for a pattern of hers, and then just kept that for myself, and then one day decided to share it on a Facebook group, that could be being sold somewhere, like on Etsy or somewhere. I don't know, unless I've gone to Etsy and checked. But even if it's not on Etsy and it is free, I still have no rights to sell it. So, what does that mean for us, for the average content creator? What about, I can hear people saying, but Sam, you do tutorials all the time. Yeah, I do tutorials for stitches that are known stitches. If I could credit the person who created the first granny square, I would. If they had a YouTube channel, I would tag them that was so long ago that there wasn't even TV or radio or anything, I think, when the first crochet granny square was created, I think. If it's a stitch pattern that you want to share, like if someone says, oh, I need a new stitch for a really good scarf, well then, and you might think, oh, fan and feather stitch is a great stitch for, and the fan and feather comes in both crochet and knitting designs. So you think, oh yeah, fan and feather. Here's the instructions for the 4-row repeat. That's 100% legal. You can do that because no one owns the rights to fan and feather stitch. Plain brioche knitted stitch, just single color or 2 color, and it's just simple pearls, simple ribbing. Nobody owns the rights to that. You can share that pattern. Okay, that's fine. You can share the pattern. Let me think of other things. I mean, anything really that's sort of public domain. There's lots of patterns that are public domain. You hear about, what do they call them? Vintage patterns. Vintage patterns, usually are out of copyright, so they're okay. You can share those. So like if you've got a pattern and you think, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this or not. It's only a stitch pattern. I don't know who created it originally. I just saw this in a magazine, or I saw it in, not necessarily a magazine, but I saw it in a book of stitches. It's fine. Because the chances are, if it's in a book of stitches only, and unless it specifically says these are all stitches I have designed, you can share it. So for example, there's a book out in knitting. I think it's knitting. It's knitting. Japanese knitted stitches. They are very intricate, very detailed, very beautiful. They are not standard everyday stitches. It's not like someone saying, oh, here's how to do a 2 by 2 ribbing. No, these are really, and it's not even your standard cables, what they do in this Japanese knitting book. It's really specific, beautifully designed patterns. No, you can't share them, because even though they're stitches, they've been created by someone. And sometimes even a book will say, I've created all these stitches. These are my stitches I've created. Now, so you wouldn't be able to post them. You wouldn't, if someone said, oh, I need a stitch for a scarf, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, this person's created this stitch. No, can't do that, because it's still, that once again, it's that intellectual property. But, so the bottom line, really, and I'm going to try and end it here, if you are in any doubt whatsoever as to whether or not you can share something or not, for your own sake, for your own financial, come on cat, for your own financial safety, don't. Because it's just not worth it. It is not worth it. Okay? It really isn't. It's just not worth it. I'm trying to protect you. I'm not trying to, I might sound angry because I am annoyed that people do this, because I'm annoyed on behalf of the designers who are losing money. But just because I'm annoyed doesn't mean I'm sort of saying, you've got to do this, rah, rah, rah. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is say, look, please, for your own sake, and for the designer's sake, look after your own back. Don't share things that you're not allowed to share. Okay? And, take care. And do you mind sniffing my head? I'm on camera. Oh, sorry, Mum. Take care. Please look after your own financial interests, whether you be a designer or just a person like me who likes knitting and crocheting. Just protect yourself at all times. Okay, lecture over. Bye for now.